Hi there, my name is Cameron Kennedy, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Ottawa, so my culture is mainly Canadian, but my mother and her side of the family is British, so I have a bit of British culture as well. I come from a family of 5 with 2 younger brothers, and I've lived on a beef cattle farm for all of my life. Some of my hobbies include horseback riding and weightlifting. A cultural food that me and my family enjoy having is English breakfasts almost every Sunday. Another interesting fact about me is that I'm Catholic. And on the right, there is a feather. This is an item that I've chosen to represent myself, as I'm a very carefree and go with the flow type person. Now I'm going to talk about my culture's views on maid. So my religion believes that maid is unacceptable because God is supposed to choose your fate, and God makes us go through specific challenges for specific reasons. In my culture, some of the common practices around death are having a wake, mass, and committal. Usually we receive communion. As well, lots of songs are usually played during the mass. Typically, burial occurs within 2 to 7 days after death.
Hi, I'm Ashley Brunton, and a little bit about me is I'm from Toronto. My family is Canadian, and the most important thing in my life is my daughter, so that's why I included this photo of her, because my family is so important. We are not religious, so for us, spending time together as a family is number one. And then also always showing kindness, even if kindness is not shown to you, and to just be respectful of other people's feelings, because you can't know what they're feeling or understand what their life experiences might be. Hi, I'm Ashley. So next I'm going to talk a bit about my culture and maid. So for us, because we're not religious, there's no connotations there. Mostly it's about respecting what does the person want, and supporting them in their personal decision. So as a nurse and with my family, a lot of my family members are in healthcare as well. And they would all agree that it's about the client-centered care. So making sure that the person who's making the choice is having an informed choice and is using resources available to them to make the best decision for them. So next I'm going to talk about death and afterlife. So for us, death is just a very natural thing. We're generally pretty accepting of death, and in my family, most people are cremated. We don't really have like a obituary or celebration of life, really. Just the person who's most senior in that immediate family unit would keep the remains. And then for afterlife, mostly it's about the memories of that person. So we would share with each other stories and memories of time spent with those people, maybe at holidays and things like that.
Hi, I'm Xavier France. I'm a social service worker student, and I grew up personally very secular. I didn't really have any religious aspects or influences in my life, but most of my family and I's own identity is kind of decided personally, and we've basically really been accepting and encouraging people to find their own identity and make choices that align most with themselves. As for what's important to me, as someone who has past lived experience with addiction and substance use and mental health issues, I kind of have a passion and place a lot of importance on working in the addictions and mental health field of social work and social services. And I guess finally, for a few hobbies of mine, it would be things like skateboarding and visual art, and I listen to a lot of music as well. So as I said before, not really belonging to a specific identity or culture and being encouraged to develop my own views and beliefs based on personal alignments causes my expressions for these kind of views and topics to be solely based on myself. But I recognize that everybody is their own person, and sometimes no matter how similar a family member is to me, their experiences and views are going to be different. So personally, I'm pro-maid. I think that for the entirety of someone's life that they should have autonomy and dignity and a sense of choice in how they live, especially when it comes to how the end of their life goes. As an SSW, it is also my role to work and support in ways that respect the best interests of the client. So whether that person is for MAID or against it, I think that their choice should be respected. In my own life, I would like to prioritize the quality of life above prolonging it. If it means that prolonging the life would also mean prolonging the pain, I think that quality of life should be prioritized, at least for myself. But as I said, I mean, everyone has different opinions based on their own personal morals and values and other factors. So I have a lot of respect for the differences between myself and others. My attitudes and views towards death and the afterlife are that death is not only inevitable, but also a natural part of life as well. When that time comes at the end of someone's life, it's important to me to respect that individual's wishes and what terms that they would like to follow for their death. Being selfless and focused on what the individual wants is also kind of a crucial practice for me, because I feel like it's not exactly my place to intervene and object to those wishes, as I am kind of focused and centered on what the individual wants, especially if it's due to personal feelings and emotions. It's not exactly my place to object and try and change that decision.
Hi everyone, my name is Naveen and originally I am from India, but right now I am in Pembroke, Ontario, doing my computer systems technician program for Algonquin College, Pembroke campus. I'm 19 and as I said, I am originally from India. My family is back in India. I am a Hindu by religion, and about myself, I like to play football and watch football, and I like to read about history and culture. That is pretty much my introduction, and I hope it's 45 seconds. Hi everyone, my name is Naveen and I've shared my views on medical assistance in dying throughout this program, and now I'd like to share my cultural or my religious views on dying, or how MAID works in India, or how MAID works for Hinduism. So death, particularly in India, pretty much revolves around the concept of karma, if you have heard of it. And karma is again originated from India, a Sanskrit word karma, which basically means actions. So the idea is, if one is suffering or one has illness, it is resulted from their actions in this life or past life. So we don't have power to end it, or we shouldn't end it by ourselves. And that's why natural death is still considered the preferable way of dying in India. So in India, the concept of death basically works around Swarg and Nark. Like in Christianity, there is hell and heaven. Same for in Islam, there is Jannat and Jahannam. So in Hinduism, there is Swarg and Nark. If you do good throughout your life, you are kind enough and you stand up to your duties, you go to Swarg. And if you do evil and nefarious things, you basically go into Nark. But again, some people believe that there isn't any Swarg or Nark, and some part of India again believes in reincarnation or resurrection of the body throughout different lives. The soul lives, it's just the physical body that dies. But again, the afterlife is pretty much related to God in India the concept of God, and for me, I don't know if God exists yet. I'm not denying, but I'm not sure too. Again, but yeah, I am a God-fearing man. I know it sounds a bit paradoxical that I don't even know if God exists and yet I'm fearing him, but I'm still learning and trying to figure out. I'm still curious, and yeah.
Hello, my name is Aurora, and I am a second-year animation student. I am originally from Istanbul, Turkey, but I have been living in Canada since 2016. Despite the big cultural differences between the two countries, I've come to really love Canada, and I'm really happy with the friends and life I have here now. My hobbies include reading and gaming. I have a goal of finishing at least 300 books by the time I'm 25, and I'm halfway there, so that's great. Some of my favorite books are the Percy Jackson series, Clara and the Sun, Lord of the Rings series, and The Count of Monte Cristo. As for my favorite games, they would be Little Nightmares, Dead Cells, Spiritfarer, and Overwatch. My culture's views on medically assisted death are that it is not permitted because we believe that life is a gift from God and only God can take it away. Any intermission, whether about your own life or someone else's, however much it might seem like a kindness, is not permitted in any way. In my culture, the dead need to be buried because we came from the earth and we shall return to it after death. The funeral services is joined by the friends and family of the departed and consists of praying together for those that we have lost and doing our best to support the family of the dead. Usually people bring food when visiting the family of the departed to not burden them with worrying about what to eat. It is also customary to visit the grave of the dead on special days like Eid to honor them and once again pray for them.